How's it going, everybody? Kramer back with another video. Today we're going to be talking about bet sizing for the micros. The last video I did where I gave some very specific numbers did very well. So instead of going all theoretical on you and GTO and everything, I'm just going to give you some really good jumping off points that will give you some exact numbers and pot percentages of what to bet. And from there you can adjust and create your own strategy. But this video will provide the basics for a beginner and to make sure that your fundamentals, your baseline poker gameplay is at least decent. You know, this is what I do to beat the micros right now. It is working, and here we go. So I'm just going to get into it. First of all, I do want to say two disclaimers. Number one, do not stick to these rules dogmatically. I say that all the time on my channel, but it's true. Poker is full of different kinds of players and different table types. But again, these are just some jumping off points. The second disclaimer is that these are also assuming you're always in a heads up pot. So this is not necessarily relevant in three-way pots, four-way pots, etc. This is only relevant in the standard heads up pot, which is the most common kind of pot you're going to be playing in No Limit Hold'em. This also does not cover how to play in 3-bet pots because that also changes things. So here we go. When it comes to opening, I like to standardize my bet sizing, so I always open for 2.5x, and the only time I vary with this is if I'm in full ring. Sometimes I will open for 3x because sometimes the 2.5x in early position just simply does not get any respect. Next, let's talk about 3-betting. 3-betting, while I'm in position, I always go for 3x, the earlier raise, unless they have very unusual sizing. So if they open for something like 3.5 big blinds, then maybe I'll consider sizing closer to 2.5x. But if they have a standard sizing of, say, 2.5x big blinds, then I will triple that to make it 7.5 big blinds. Next, if you're 3-betting out of position, and it's just one person, I will usually go for a 4x sizing. So if they open for 3 big blinds, I'll make it 12. And another note to this is if they have one caller after opening, I will size up approximately one opening size. I will size up one more number depending on how many people call. So usually I'll do a 4x raise since I'm out of position, but if they have one caller, I'll tend toward 5x raising the initial open, or even 6x raised again if there's another caller. Next, we'll be talking about c-betting. Generally, I c-bet in the range of 40% to 60% of pot. If you happen to be in position and your range is really strong and your opponent is likely to give you credit, smaller sizing is okay if you really want to entice a call. So sometimes if I have something like pocket kings on a king, I don't know, 2-10 board, and I really want someone to call and their range is quite wide, I might bet something as small as 20% of pot. The reason I do this is to build a pot and also keep it very small to entice them to call with whatever hand they may have. Next, we'll talk about turn betting. There is a lot of variety in turn betting because there are so many board textures with so many types of players, and you've got different ranges and they've got different ranges. So this also is going to depend on how vulnerable your hand is. So again, this is a very wide range of ways to play turns. However, again, I'm just going to give you some hard numbers. Generally, if you want a call, I recommend about 40% to 60% of pot. If you don't want to call, I would recommend about 50% or more of pot. And if you want the hand to end now, you're confident in your hand, or you just want to bluff, you can bet 100% or more of the pot. Next, we'll talk about river betting. Same as turn betting, this will vary quite a bit depending on your range, your opponent's range, and both of your tendencies. And depending on if you want value or you are bluffing, this will of course change things. So once again, I will give you some jumping off points. At the micros, I don't really recommend value betting more than 50% unless you have a good reason to, because people tend to be more nitty when it comes to the micros. If your opponent has a weak range or is simply never going to call a large bet, which does happen at the micros, like I said, people are less likely to call large bets, I would recommend sizing down. Next, you can consider sizing up, so we're talking over 50% of the pot. If you have a loose reputation or your opponent happens to be a calling station. So if there is some reason that may warrant a large bet where you do want to get called, of course you want to do that. If you're someone who's been overbetting a lot and you now have the nuts and your opponent knows that you overbet a lot as a bluff, of course this is a great time to go all in as a value bet. But this is not most people, so once again I will bring it back and just say if you want a call and you're value betting, keep it around 50%. So that's going to do it for this video. Like I said, I just wanted to make it very easy to understand and concise. If you have any more questions, let me know in the comments. And also, one thing worth noting is that I really recommend that if you want to really start beating the micros and start moving up in stakes in general, just improve your poker game in general, I really recommend incorporating overbetting. And conveniently, I made a video yesterday about overbetting, so I really recommend you check that out if you feel that you are ready to incorporate something new into your poker game. I'll leave a link to that in the description as well as in one of these corners. So that's going to do it for this video. I hope that you have enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in the next one. See you later.